What's going on, guys? It's your boy Jermane'S, and today we have some rather exciting stories for you guys. Well, not exciting, I would say, but something just to think about. Listen, I told you guys that FIFA was gonna look into the. If you watch my live stream a few days ago, I believe it was on Thursday or so. I told you guys that FIFA was gonna look into this red card and suspension of Balogun and try to have him play in this match today with Belgium. So, reports are that Trump spoke to FIFA President Gianni Infantino in a short conversation. Infantino told the president that FIFA disciplinary committee would look into the case, and Andrew Giuliani, the executive director of the White House World Cup Task Force, also spoke with Infantino, and the Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, was also in communication with FIFA. It appears to be the first time since 1962 that a red card during a World Cup game did not result in a suspension. So it happens before. So I know you guys out there gonna saying, "Oh, Trump intervened and compromised the integrity of the sport," but this happened before in 1962. So right now, Balogun is on a 1-year probation because they took away the suspension away. And truth and in fact, that red card wasn't justified. That red card wasn't justified. Like, these two guys' legs were tied and they were trying to win the ball, and he missed. It's an accident. It's not a deliberately act of like stepping inside the shin. The incident is painful, but it was an accident. And but it happened before in 1962. So what happened is, Trump wrote on Truth Social, "Thank you, FIFA, for doing what was right and reversing the great injustice." Belgium Federation said it was astonished by a move that is in direct contradiction with FIFA's own rule and is investigating all the potential options. So right now, I think it happens to a Brazilian in 1962 where, he got a red card and he was suspended for the game. After the game, he got the red card and the suspension was reversed, and then he went on a 1-year probation. So same thing gonna happen to Balogun. He's gonna go on a 1-year probation, and he's gonna play in the match tonight against Belgium. So you might see a lot of outlash and a lot of people lashing out, especially in Europe, because if the United States ever go into this match tonight and win, oh my goodness, it's gonna be crazy. People are gonna be talking about this all over. People are gonna saying, because it's the United States, they're gonna say it's favoritism. They're gonna say it's corrupt. They're gonna say a whole lot of stuff, and I know a lot of people running with it right now, saying, "Hey, this is corrupt," and Trump intervened and he compromised the integrity of the sport. But I don't think that the integrity of the sport is compromised, because there's a precedent. It happened before in 1962. It happens before. You understand? And honestly, I think the red card was not just, because I was watching the match live. They were both going for the ball, and they were both looking at the ball coming down, and they were running and stepping, and their legs tied together, and Balogun stepped into the ankle of the other dude, and it's a pain. Listen, when I look at that, it looks so painful. When I look at that incident, it was so painful. I could felt it in my own ankle, and it wasn't me on the pitch, but it has happened before. So let me continue reading some of this guys for you guys. Belgian coach Rudy Garcia said, I didn't know that at FIFA World Cup, the 5th of June is now the 1st of April and April Fool's Day. One slide was suddenly missing from FIFA's standard pre-match presentation when it was presented to the Belgian team. The slide about automatic one-game suspension for players who receive a red card. UEFA said FIFA crossed the red line in the Balogun match ban reprieve after Trump call. So again, a lot of people are not happy with this. Europe is not happy with this. UEFA is not happy with it. But you know, that's I am like, listen, I've said it before in my live stream. I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this was gonna happen. I knew that the suspension was gonna roll back, and I knew that he was gonna be able to play in this game tonight. The reason why, not because like this goes to show that Trump is watching the games closely. He's watching the games very closely. Like this goes to show that Trump is vested in the United States either going as far as possible in this tournament or possible win this tournament. And why? Because he talks about it all the time. He bring the FIFA games to the United States, and after the FIFA games, a year after, they're going to be the Olympics in his presidency. So he wants the United States team to go as far as possible, and he's going to do whatever in his power to make it happen. Of course, if the guys go into a game and they play, then they lose fairly and squarely, there's nothing Trump can do about that. But as I said, that red card, a lot of people think that red card wasn't justified. It was not justified. It should be a warning. It should be a foul. But I don't think it was justified. It was not justified. And I'm a soccer player, football player. And, I don't play anymore. But, it wasn't justified. And Trump has a vested interest in ensuring that the team goes as far as possible, fairly and squarely. So I knew this was going to happen. I told many people that, listen, either Trump is going to call FIFA and ask them to, investigate this card closely and, try to figure out something, or FIFA is going to do it under pressure. But as I said, this was happened before. In 1962, I think it was a Brazilian Chicharito or something like that. He was called, where he was gotten a red and he was suspended, but the suspension was reverted and he went on a 1-year probation. So now my guy Balogun is on a 1-year probation because he took this deal where the red card, the match suspension was reverted, and he's gonna play in the Belgium match tonight in Seattle, Washington State. So that's something to look out for. I know, the Belgium players and coach and entire FIFA staff are upset about it. Really, really upset about it. They think that this is FIFA crossed the line by doing this, and they don't want to see that happen. But that's our star player, man. That's the thing too. If it was a defender, that I wouldn't feel too bad about it. But that's our star player. That's a goal scorer, bro. That's the goal scorer. That's the dude who's hungry for goal. That's the striker. That's their sharp shooter. Like, whatever name you want to call him, that's the guy who is going to ensure that the United States score a goal or two in these matches, yo. So if it was a defender or someone in the midfield, this match suspension happened to, then we'll see about it. I wouldn't feel so bad, and pretty much I don't think anyone would feel too bad about it. I don't think Trump would have called and said, hey, look at this closely. Look at this closely and see if this red card was justified. But no, that's a star player. That's the dude who's going to score. I'm pretty sure he's going to score tonight. He's going to score tonight. And then after he scored tonight, you're gonna see the backlash, and you're gonna hear what you know. It's gonna be crazy. The backlash is gonna be crazy after Florian scored tonight. He's gonna score tonight. I guarantee you that this dude is gonna hit the net tonight. He's gonna score, and that's when this is gonna get deeper and more darker, as it relates to people talking about it, and it relates to people saying Trump might pressure FIFA and the FIFA body to really um, cancel the suspension. And you know, they might say it's favoritism or whatever, but honestly, man, it is what it is at this point. It is what it is at this point. But I think he's gonna score tonight. So what you guys think? This match tonight, Belgium against the United States in Seattle, Washington State. I hope the United States win. There's a momentum behind the team. We're just coming off July 4th, and that was one of the things people were celebrating the most across the country, that we're hosting the FIFA games, and it's the first time that we have made it through the knockout stage and progressed to the round of 16. So this, you know, this is one of the things we celebrate along with America's 250 this past weekend. What you guys think? We gonna win that match, or this is gonna be the end of the road for the United States in the World Cup tournament? But honestly, I believe that the guys are gonna play with their heart. They're gonna play to win, and they're gonna play to make the country proud, because now the guys realize now that, listen, it's not only soccer fans, and it's not only normal people within the country that are cheering them on and want to see them go forward. But with Trump's intervention and call FIFA, now the guys realize that, hey, the president is watching them closer. The president have a vested interest in them progressing on, probably make it to the quarterfinals, maybe to the semifinals, or even maybe to the finals. The president want to see them go further. So I think this is going to put some momentum in the guys, and put some, you know, this is going to boost the guys' morals, and, you know, they're going to play with their heart, and they're going to play to make America proud, and they're going to play to really dominate this game and possibly win this game. No doubt about it. I believe they're going to play to go further, and they're going to do what they can to really put some pressure on the Belgium team, and potentially win this match some way, somehow. You understand? And I'm really proud of the guys, man. They, you know, they play really well. They're calm. When you see them, they're very calm on the ball. They pass really well. You know, they attack and pressure when they should attack and pressure. They come back. They you know, I think this is one of the best United States team in history. I think so, pretty much. I think this is one of the best United States team in history. I salute the coaching staff. I salute the whole management staff. You know, because they're managing the crisis very well. Especially, listen, this coach is a genius. Listen, if anyone watched the match against Bosnia, listen, after Balogun got off the field for the red card and we're down to 10 men, Bosnia was making a lot of changes. If you could recall, they were making a lot of changes to put fresh legs on the pitch so they could run on the United States team and possibly equalize. You understand? But because that's what they did to the Italians months ago in order to qualify for the match. Well, I think the Italian team was leading one goal to nil, and then one of the Italian got a red card, came off, they went down to 10 men. The coach, the Bosnian coach switched, you know, make some changes, put fresh legs on the team and on the pitch, and they run on the Italians, and then they end up equalizing, and then the match went into overtime, and went into a penalty shootout, and that's how they won and qualified for the game, for the World Cup tournament. So they were trying to repeat the same story. They were trying to repeat the same scenario, but lightning doesn't strike twice. Unfortunately for them, with us. And the U.S. team, the U.S. coaching staff, the U.S. management staff knew that this was the same scenario, and they knew what they were doing. So we remained calm. The coach remained calm. The players remained calm. The players knew about it too, and the coach didn't make any changes. And the reason why he didn't make any changes is because he wanted the best guys, the best penalty takers, the best guys on the pitch, just in case the Bosnian equalize and the game went to the extra time and then eventually go into a penalty shootout. He wanted to ensure that the best men are on the pitch. And that's what he was doing, because in the end you could see that the US guys were tired, yo. They were running on reserve, yo. They were tired. They were running on reserve. You could see that. The number 17, he was tired. The number 10, he was tired. Like, they were running on reserve. You understand? And in the end, after the number 17 scored that free kick, then we realized, okay, all right, we have like a cushion, and we could really make a little change here and there, and so on and so forth. And that's when we stop, we make a few changes. But the coaching staff are very smart, and they know what they're doing, and they pull it off. They pull it off real good. So tonight I want to see the strategy what they're going in with tonight, because this is a very, very crucial match, and this match depends. A whole lot is riding on this match. The country want to see the boys pull it off and go forward, and it's just one step closer to the ultimate goal. If the US team ever win this World Cup, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a whole lot of soccer initiative coming to. The MLS is going to boost up for real, because if we win this World Cup, you're going to see more players from overseas coming in to play MLS. You understand? Because we'll now establish ourselves as a football, soccer country. I mean, we still looked at, like, because we have Messi here playing in the MLS, and back in the days we had David Beckham played here, and so on and so forth. But if we ever take the trophy here in the United States, we're gonna be more established as a soccer/football destination, and you're gonna have more players all over the world gonna want to play in the MLS. That's the United States National League, and so a lot is riding on this match. Not only this match, because if we progress and go forward, beat Belgium, and go to the quarterfinals, a lot is riding on the boys. So I'm proud of the guys. They're doing great. I want to say, listen, man, the coaching staff and the management staff, they're putting in the work, and shout out to Trump, man. Shout out to Trump for really making this call and try to figure this out, because a lot of people are going to say a lot of stuff, but personally, I think that the red card that our star player received was not justified, and the suspension was not justified. So shout out to Trump for making this happen, so that our star man, or our main man, can go out there tonight and potentially score a goal or two to get us into the next phase, which is the quarterfinals of the World Cup game. So shout out to Trump. He is vested in this. He want to make it happen. He want to see it happen. So when we're not treated fair, or when the team is not treated fair per se, he's going to call it out, and he's going to talk about it, and he's going to bring his issue to the relevant authorities for them to correct it. So shout out again to Trump. Shout out again to Trump for making this happen. All right? So let's pivot to another story. Talking about July 4th weekend. July 4th weekend was a very, very, very celebratory moment in the country. It was America's 250, and a lot of people were celebrating. The fireworks were out. Um, you know, all over the country there was a lot going on. But unfortunately, it was a very hot weekend. The temperature was crazy all across the country. There was a heat wave. Well, across the Northeast, I believe. I'm not sure about. I live in the Northeast, so New England. So across the Northeast, there was a crazy heat wave, man. You couldn't breathe. Outside was unbreathable over the weekend. And unfortunately, in New Jersey, 19 people have perished due to the heat wave. And, it's crazy. It's crazy. And actually 22. So let me read you guys something. So at least 19 people died in New Jersey from suspected heat-related causes. The toll actually rose to 22 of Saturday. Most victims were found in their homes without air conditioning. Some were found on the street and even in parked cars. LaGuardia Airport in New York set a new record high of 104 degrees Fahrenheit on Thursday, topping the previous record of 101 degrees set in 1966. Atlantic City hit 106 degrees on Saturday. Governor Mickey Sherrill called it the hottest stretch we have seen in over 14 years. She said the heat hitting all of us, not just seniors, not just with underlying heat condition, people of all ages. That was crazy. So how the hell do you sit in your car and without AC over the weekend? I don't get it. How the hell do you sit home with your doors closed, with your windows closed, and just sitting down in a hot ass house without AC or without trying to get some air coming into your house? I don't get it, yo. I don't understand this. I really don't understand how the hell you sit down in a parked car. I just read it. People were sitting down, somebody was sitting down in a parked car without, I don't understand, is this person mentally messed up or whatever? But I don't understand how you sit down in a parked car without AC. That's crazy. Some were found outside on the street and even in parked cars on Thursday. Thursday was one of the hottest days, man. Thursday was ridiculous. How the hell people do? I don't understand how you see that there's a heat wave. You understand? The most you could do is I would just turn my shower on. I would just have my shower running, and I just go back and forth in my shower to cool down or whatever. But how the hell, yo? If it's 100 degrees outside your car, in your car it's probably gonna be 120 or 125 because the heat is gonna be trapped inside the car. Trust me. If it's 100 degrees outside the car, it's gonna be more inside the car. So how the hell you sit down in a parked car, and just sit down there and perish due to the heat? I don't see the sense in that. I don't see if the person was really thinking how would you sit down in a car and just. You think the car is going to save you from the heat? It's going to just intensify the heat because it's all metal around you. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. But it's sad though because it was on July 4th weekend and people are celebrating. And it's sad to know that while we're celebrating America's 250, it shows that it's sad to know that people were falling out due to heat-related issues and heat-related um, heat-related problems in their homes and in their cars and whatever. But it's sad. It's sad. It's sad to know that that's what took place over the weekend, and so many people lost their life to this heat wave. And again, a lot of people is gonna complain global warming and all sort of stuff, but who knows, man? I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole, but I just can't fathom someone sitting down in their house, not running the shower. Okay, I understand you don't have AC. I understand you don't have a fan. Okay, what you gonna do? I'm gonna open my windows. I am gonna run my shower, cold water, because I know I used to live in New York. New York and New Jersey, that cold water there in the shower or in the house or whatever, in the apartment, it is cold because that thing is coming from deep underground. And even in the summertime, when I was there and I'm taking a shower, I have to use warm water on hot days because that water is cold. So the best thing I would do is I would go in my shower, turn my shower on, put the water in cold, and if I find myself getting too hot, I go in there, run the water on me for like 5-10 minutes, get out, run the water, 5-10 minutes, get out, back and forth, just to cool down and keep my body temperature stable because it's a heat wave. That's what I'll do. Instead of just laying down there in my house and just doing nothing. Because I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, that water in New Jersey and New York, that it's cold because most of it is coming from underground. It's coming from underground. It's cold water. You understand? Another thing too, over the weekend, power was knocked out close to 1 million homes and businesses across New Jersey. The National Mall had to be evacuated during the salute to America 250 4th of July celebration due to severe weather. Yes, that's what happened too. A lot of power was, but I don't think, even if the power is out, the water is still cold. I don't think that, I don't know. But I can understand that the power was out, so people might be out of AC, but you gotta have to like, you have to like try to be proactive, man, because it's a life and death situation. Sometimes with these severe heat waves, you have to be proactive. So that's one of the things too. It's not only New York, New Jersey. A lot of the Northeast power was out. Power was out here in Connecticut too, for a while because you have transformers blowing up because they just can't keep up with the surge in electricity consumption. Because if, for example, you have 100 homes in an area, and on a given day, 25 of them running the AC. You know what I mean? How the power system is set up, it doesn't account for all 100 homes running their AC or running their ventilation system or central air system simultaneously on blast just to cool down. So that's why the power system was messed up, and that's why you have transformers blowing out, you have power surges, you have all type of stuff happening, and that's why people lost power. Businesses, supermarkets, entire shopping center, blocks and blocks of power outages due to the weather. It was crazy. That was one of the roughest July 4th actually the United States ever seen in history, especially over here in the Northeast as it relates to the heat-related issues and heat-related injuries and heat-related deaths across the North New England. Actually, some places here in Connecticut just got back electricity this morning or last night because Saturday it was so hot. Nature decided to intervene, and then we have a rainstorm just to cool the place down. That's one of the things, man. Mother Nature always know when to intervene and give you a relief or give you some relief when you have too much of one thing. And that's what happened. Mother Nature intervened on Saturday late afternoon, and we got some rain here in Connecticut. And behind that, we had some wind, and power lines were knocked down, trees were knocked down, so on and so forth. And the place was cooled down after a while. It's relatively cool now. Um, you know, a lot of temperature is stabilized now. Now it's 65 degrees. Couple days ago, it was like 104 in some places, 101 in some places here in the Northeast. So we happy for that. We happy for that. We happy for that. We happy for that. We happy for that, big time. So that's what I have for you guys today. So let me know, guys. Does Trump intervening and calling FIFA directly compromise the integrity of the sport, or that was a necessary thing to do due to the fact that the red card was unjust and the player didn't deserve to be banned from get a match suspension? And what do you think with the New Jersey situation? All those deaths over there, it's sad to know that, and we should all send our prayers out to the friends and family of those people who perished during that winter. I'm saying winter. Well, I wish it was a winter storm. During that heat wave over there in New Jersey. This goes to show that we should take precaution as it relates to how we get outside during these times. You know, you know, people found out alone in their homes without ACs in cars and in the street. It's just crazy. Tonight, guys, tonight is the match against Belgium, and stay out. Be on the watch for that, and be on the watch for what they're gonna say about the United States too if we win. So this is Jermaine Viewers, guys. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you guys watching. That's all I have for you today, guys. Please let me know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and send your prayers over for those people in New Jersey who perished. And just let us know what you think and what's on your mind, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Peace.